Oh, Let Me Rap With You podcast. Producer's new favorite podcast. Your boy 215 Guy V's, aka Streets, aka you already know this. We're back once again. Been on a good run with interviews for like literally the past week. But it's good. We ended the Sunday off. We going into the holiday. We doing it right. Because we got my boy Austin Cornelia in the building. So make sure, y'all get your little virtual autographs out. Because I'm pretty sure y'all gonna want them. Make sure y'all shout him out in the comments. But what's up with you, bro?
Not much, man. Just chilling out here in the Bay. How you doing?
Nah, man, shit. Doing good out here on the East Coast, man. I see you been on the run doing some collaborations. I just seen you post something. What's the move right now?
Yeah, man. Just doing a lot of work with Steve LaBelle and some of their artists over there in LA. I got some songs coming out with Joseph Black. I did some work with Navien recently that's going to be coming out in the next year. So just trying to keep the ball moving and spread myself out. Uh, it's fun collaborating with other artists, man. Just getting another ear and different talent on songs and stuff like that. It's
It's
been
impre-
fun.
it's impressive how you actually have like literally collaborations in a catalog ready for 2024 already, and we're actually only in August. That's actually impressive.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I got to stay ahead of the game. As soon as you slip behind, I like to work in the future. I like to have things set, and that's the only way to keep it going to kind of keep up with this whole algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Algorithm's crazy.
But to be honest, when it comes to your story starts before the algorithms because, as you said it, in your Instagram, your story starts from, a teen competition, and for most people, when they hear that story, it'll think, to go all good and everything. But, as said, you know, not every story comes with a good ending. So when it came to that competition, you wanted to get more in depth into that.
Yeah, man. I started seeing competitions just like through YouTube, and that's kind of how I got picked up to go on the X Factor. Um, and at first, it did feel like the end of the world when I didn't win. I was like, you have all these plans going into something, but being eliminated from that show turned out to be the best thing that could happen to me because now I was a free agent. I wasn't tied down to a contract. Those X Factor contracts, they could be gnarly. They'll have it. I was in a contract that basically was going to say, like, if I had gone to live shows, I wouldn't be able to post anything anywhere for like 5 years. And I was like, whoa, they like own you. So it was
Talk,
kind of good that I got out a little early.
talking about having no creative control, that's a motherfucker.
Yeah, that just
Like
takes the
for
fun away.
real, like talking about taking away creative. You talking about for 5 years, and we're talking about the prime time of content creation right now. Like, no, they definitely knew what they were doing. They
Yeah.
definitely knew what they were trying to take. So, no, it's definitely a good thing that you definitely didn't take that because right now it's like prime time content creation. You see that you do that every day with all the releases and stuff that you do. Even though most of the releases are out, you're definitely steady and definitely consistent with the content that you put out every day. But speaking of the catalog that is out, you definitely have a good catalog starting out, with the solo song Cali Skies. That's definitely a good song that, you started out solo in the catalog. So how, how can you speak on, the early days of Austin, Corinian? How can, you know, like where does that story start for him and, where does music start for
It starts pretty early, my mom was a worship leader. I grew up in the church singing with her, in like kids' church stuff like that, sometimes in the big church. And one day they wanted to record a little album. They had a little band, and she asked me to come in. I was probably like 3 years old, and she would hear me in the back seat like singing Jackson 5 and stuff like that and hitting the notes, and she was like, Austin, you should maybe like sing with me, record yourself or something. I was like, okay, little. And I was just like a little youngin' on that track, a little high pitch on the voice and the track. And from that day, I kind of like was fascinated by it as a kid, like the big headphones on, being in the studio, having someone tell you like specifically. And I actually took direction well for 3 year old. And then from there, it was just kind of a passion that I had, which led me to my teenage years, just kind of getting together with someone I knew could make YouTube videos, send my music to him, come up with ideas. He knew how to post it and everything. I was kind of new to the whole social media. thing. I think at the time it was only like MySpace, and I think maybe
Mm,
Facebook just came out, and maybe Facebook was like around that time. So that was kind of when it started getting interesting. I started getting views on my video, and then he randomly hit me up one day. It was like, there's this contest in Nashville. It's called Teen Hoot, and it's all online. And when you win, they you win like $2,000. They fly you out to Nashville. You perform in front of like 5,000 people. And I was like,
$2,000. That can barely pay rent in California these days.
I know, but to
Like I
to
ain't even trying to take it there.
no, not even, bro, but straight up. But I was like 14 at the time, so I wasn't even. That would sounded like great to me. I was like $2,000, like that sounded great. So I did that. I won. I got re-invited to come back and perform the next year, and then boom, that's when I got hit up to be on the X Factor, and that was surreal. The preparation for that. Thank God I had my mom because she went to San Jose State and she took a class for music, and she was like in a class where it's like if you couldn't keep up, if your notes weren't on perfect, you'd be removed. And
Mm,
so that kind of like gave her the perfect position to prep me to go be in front of someone like Simon Cowell, who could just, he's a great, smart person. He treated us very well, but we all know like he's not afraid to tear someone down and be like, straight up, you don't got it. Like, straight up, this is not it. Like, he'll tell you. And so I had to, do everything perfect, and as perfect as I could at 16, and that she helped me a lot with that.
I'm Gary say, what was Simon's specific critique with you?
His specific critique with me when I first performed, the initial thing he said to me was he was like, "Look, you've got a great voice, you've got the look, the girls are screaming. I'm sure you're used to that, but I can see you're banking on that, and I think you need to branch out a bit and be more original." Like he's like that. There's tons of guys out here who are like doing that thing and doing the pop thing and getting that reaction, and the girls love it. But it doesn't. What makes you different is what makes you special. He was like, work on your vocals, get them better, and he moved me forward. He took a chance. He was like, "Go ahead, you're on to the next round." And I like that he said that. You know, that's actually good advice, especially for a young guy coming into the music industry. It's real easy to come out and like sing some One Direction thing or some Justin Bieber thing, and the girls scream and stuff. It doesn't mean you're a star. It's that's kind of just a setup for them. They love that automatically. But when you could take something, really make it your own, that's really what he inspired me to do in that
Nah,
moment.
and that's facts. And honestly, and to be honest, we have to trace it back because you're talking about 3 years old listening to Jackson 5. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
I could I have to go back I have to go back a little further back real quick. Like Jackson 5, who else was you listening to that you could remember at 3 years old? Because that's a very, very heavy influence at three
Mm-hmm.
years old.
Yeah. Well, I definitely grew up on Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, listening to Queen. I love Freddie Mercury. His voice is so powerful. People like Journey, uh, Styx. Styx?
Hmm.
I listened to Styx back in the day. Just powerful singers, and when you listen to those guys and the way even they just pronounce things, even the way like they're professionally trained. And so I just kind of started, it starts as a mimic, right? You're singing and you're trying to sing it just like them because that's all you know. And then as you get older, I finally come across that conversation with my mom where she was like, you got to find your voice. Like you gotta, if you're gonna sing and there's gonna be soul in it and people are gonna come to tears and like it's gonna be powerful, like it has to be 100% authentic. And so you've got to find your voice. Don't try to sing like Michael. Don't try to sing like Freddie. Like take their knowledge, take their tendencies, and create your own voice, your own sound.
No, that and I'm saying like that's definitely shout out to Mom Dukes because say it like that she definitely steered you the right way and taking it back like you said after Simon gave you that advice and then you went on to round two what at what was the details that had happened right when you went into round two some of the other artists that were there too.
Oh yeah. that was as soon as you know you're through the round, you walk out and the crew's like, "Hey, congratulations, that's dope. All right, let's get you on a plane and get you out to Florida." And it's like, "Oh shit, everything's moving fast." You pack everything up, and they're like, My parents were like, "Whoa, whoa, we got to figure this out." And they're like, "We cover it all, we pay for it." Get prepared, and then the next thing on my mind was like, what song am I gonna sing? That's immediately what I thought was like, what's next, you know? And so right back into preparations, go home, get my things together, get ready for the trip. The flight was in like a week. And so I went to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is crazy because keeping it 100, I asked my mom like early in the year when the X Factor auditions were coming out. And I was like, I want to do it. And I think she was a little nervous because of Simon Cowell. Because we grew up, watching like American Idol when he was like his like gnarliest. He would just rip somebody, and
Loved it. Loved it.
dude, I loved it. And my mom was terrified. She was like, "I don't want you to go in front of him and get destroyed, and then never do it." I was just like, "Oh no, I think I'm ready." And so I didn't audition, and then like maybe 3 months later they contacted the guy who ran that teen hoot contest for talent and he sent them my way. So this is really a God thing, bro. They called my house phone. We had a house phone at the time. That's how long ago
A
this was.
fucking house phone.
We had a house phone.
Not even a flip phone, not a razor, not nothing.
Not the straight up landline, man. And they called our house and they were like, we wanted to see if you're interested in auditioning for X Factor. And my mom was like, no. She thought it was fake. And she hung up. And then they called again. And my mom's not like, this is just how it ended up. Like, my mom's totally supportive. This is just how it ended up in the situation because she's trying to protect me, right? And they called again. And the lady was like, ma'am, I'm the executive producer of the X Factor. This is real. We want your son on the show. Can you do it? And she just looked at me and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And she was just like, okay. And I was like, woo, they
Do
sent
it,
this to
do
me.
it, do it. Like,
I
yes,
just do
bro,
it.
for
I was like,
sure.
we got to take the chance.
Like, come on, bro. Like, at the end of the look, I say it like this: any mom that take that phone call, especially down here where I'm from, instant, no hesitation, wouldn't even have thought about it. Like, straight,
Right,
just do it, bro. Like,
right.
there's no thought, like an opportunity like that. Like, that's just something that a lot of people are dying for. Like, especially from where I come from. Like, bro. So trust me, like, that would have been a straight instant anybody I know.
Yeah. And I think that I'm lucky they called twice, but I also get her perspective because in those days of like the landlines was kind of the end of that, like the fake calls and like the scamming calls and stuff like that. That shit was on a rise. It was crazy, like calling the home phones and like when people would figure out you do music and say different things, they would learn about you, So I see why she was looking out, but God was like, "No, you're gonna do this thing, and they're gonna call again, and you're gonna end up on this show." Boom, that's what it was.
God was with you the whole time, man. Oh my God. Oh, honestly, we actually have we got a good question that's actually in the group chat. Shout out to Vizcaya. She said, "What's your favorite Tide song?" She said, "Mine is Problems. That one always touches my heart." So she said, "What's yours?"
Okay, that's awesome. What's up? Thanks for commenting. I like Problems. That was a special session when we wrote that song because we all really were young. We felt that. My favorite one though is Young Love because performing it was just awesome. Like it was so lit. The whole arena would be like, "Golly, Young Love!" Everyone would be clapping. You see all the hands up, and like it just had a different feel to it. And yeah, I'd say Young Love was my favorite.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to Steven. Colombo said, "Corinne, the next superstar." Said, "Once one record gets traction, it's a wrap." Said, "Put the cuff."
Thank you, Stevie.
And he said, "Put the cuffs on me." I guess that's his favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Put the Cuffs on Me was a fun one. That was like our number one drop single. We shot a cool music video. A lot of that when I was in that band, I was in the UK all the time. I was like basically lived in London. And so all those music videos and stuff, those are really good memories. It's like
I got,
kind
I
of
got, I
monster
got, I
tracking.
got, I got to ask you, man. I gotta go off topic with the music real quick. What's the food like out there, man? What's the food like?
Okay.
See.
Okay.
I knew it was going there. I knew it was going there. Now,
This is just the American perspective. You have to know where to go in the UK. There's spots. There's like one burrito spot that actually makes really good burritos. I think it's called Wrap It Up, and that would be like my go-to spot because Wrap It Up, the
I'm sorry.
burrito spot. They
I'm so
call them.
sorry, bro. Sorry for me not to laugh, bro. That's literally
Hey,
the name of the store out there.
it's called Wrap It Up, and it's a burrito store, and it's the only good burrito. And then they have TGI Fridays.
Oh, they have a TGI Fridays.
They have a TGI Fridays. They got that good. They got the Jack Daniel's sesame seed chicken. Mm,
Muller, Muller, Rue. I don't know if y'all watching, but write that down,
write
please. If
that
y'all,
down.
please, Muller, Rue, if y'all watching, please write that down, please. I need y'all to write that down right now. But damn, there's some, dang, now I just want to go out there for that chicken now. That's insane. But
It's
but no, that and definitely not. Honestly, that's a and you was talking about being in a band. For a lot of artists, today, a lot of us we're used to, being in the studio and just recording, but some singers and all that, they haven't reached that level where, they're in the studios, they got the bands, they got the, the live instruments, where you're in one studio room, they got the band in the other studio room and stuff like that. Like, I've seen it. But,
yeah.
for those who haven't, really witnessed or seen that yet, what's a good perspective you can give for them for that?
Okay, so the best perspective I can give, no matter where you're at in your music, is that like if you feel it in your heart that this is what you're made to do, right? Just keep doing it. You always are gonna be trying to do something different or better. And like, oh, what's gonna move it forward? But really, it's a moment that you're looking for. It's a moment that's gonna come and you're gonna have to seize it. And that might be you just posted something the right thing at the right time. Maybe it just means the right person heard you. But like if it really is in God's hands. I'm speaking from my beliefs, like so if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And so let go of the stress of that. You're gonna get to that point. It's meant to be. You can feel it. You wake up, you feel it, you go to bed, you dream about it, right? Like, don't, you can remove the stressful part of that journey to that point when you focus on today, right? Tomorrow's going to be great. We can believe in it, but don't obsess over it. Like, obsess on what's in front of you. That's what's going to create that tomorrow. Leave the stress out of it, enjoy the ride, and just keep consistent. Consistently write songs, consistently keep moving, getting yourself out there. And as a human being, that's really all you can do. And if you can throw some money into yourself, invest into yourself, invest into your posts, invest into getting good quality for your content, and you can fine tune things as you go. But really, it's going to be a moment because, not to make it a super long answer, but like, honestly, you see people blow up after they put millions into themselves and they like have this whole thing, and it's pretty much like they call it like a interview or a industry plant. And then there's people I've seen like Post Malone blow up, who just puts a song out on SoundCloud, and the next morning he wakes up and Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa are messing with it and talking about it online, and it blows up. You know what I mean? Like, you see both aspects. Yeah, he wasn't in the studio with bands like that at that time. He
He
was.
he had a couple homies like FKI first, and
Mhm.
you feel me? Like that's it. He just had a couple homies like that, and they just rocked out. Feel me?
Right. So that's why I say just do your thing. Keep doing it. And when it's meant to happen, like, it'll happen. And don't sell your soul for it neither. It's not worth it.
No, definitely big facts. Shout out to my guy GDS Gus. We just had the premiere of the season 1 finale of the Let Me Rap With You show. He said the same thing. He would rather quit before selling his soul. To the music shit. Like that's real. That's real. So
Well, you can see it now. Everybody who did sell their soul, they're cashing in now. They have to embarrass themselves. They gotta do all this devil worship stuff. They gotta do all this stuff, man. It's getting
the depth
it's
they're the
getting
depth they're
dark.
in is insane.
No, it's insane, and they're not even trying to hide it no more, you know? And what I
Yeah,
like to see is that the listeners and the world and the audience, they're seeing it and they're calling it out, you know? It's not just going under our nose. Like people are noticing it that that darkness and the evil in our entertainment right now, it's just pushing hard. And so do not sell your soul to these people. They are real. It is a real war. Um, when you stand for the light, these people that you listen to, rappers, singers, actors, the ones that they come down on the most, the ones that they're always under attack, it's because they didn't take that. It's because they went the route of light, and they're still here. They're inspiring us, and the ones who aren't, their songs live on. Like their spirit lives on. They continue to inspire us. The Pox and the Nipseys, like these people stood up for something good, and the devil may attack, and the devil may have put them through so much and come against them, but he can't like he couldn't dim their sound. He couldn't dim their light. He could do some worldly damage, which is basic, but you can't damage the spirit. And so hang on to your spirit, value it, treasure it. When the industry comes and wants you to compromise it, recognize that. Let it make you laugh. Let it make you smile. I see you. I see what you're trying to do.
nah,
Uh,
trust me. I've had my share. Trust me. I
mm-hmm.
could have been gone, but made my choices and stayed down and just. That's why we sitting here we sitting here, preaching and having this great interview that we're having because of that. You feel me? So,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing that I would definitely say, y'all already know. Appreciate y'all, my guys. Be safe. You already know. You already know. Y'all be safe. But the one thing that I definitely want to take it back to because, like you said, you were out in the UK. You were actually, performing with bands, and bands they actually get to value their craft a lot better than a lot of creatives. So, the one thing that that I want to actually mention was like, what were one of your favorite sessions that you actually did out there in the UK?
Oh man, the best session we had was most definitely with these guys, Will and Danny.
Mm,
Will Sims and Danny Shaw. You guys, if you go follow them, they are some of the best songwriters in the game right now. Um, we had a session, the good sessions. I mean, you show up at 2 p.m. and you leave at 2 a.m., 4 a.m. Like those are the good sessions where you're there
had them,
all night.
had them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking like maybe even the first 2 hours, everybody's like, where are we going with this? Like, we're just talking. We haven't even talked about a song. We're just communicating, going out, getting fucking food, talking about life, chopping it up. Who are we as people? And then once that's been established and time's been spent just doing that, all of a sudden, there's a moment, like I said, a moment where all of a sudden everything we've been talking about, everything that defines what that night is, becomes the song. And we wrote a song about how we're going down in history, and it was awesome. And then we worked on "Click My Fingers" that night too. We threw vocals down on "Click My Fingers." My boy Danny, shout out to him, wrote that song. Like, just an incredible session with those guys, and we came back for more. We went back and wrote with them a couple times.
No, trust me, sessions like that you can't just it can't be a one hit wonder. It has to y'all gotta go back a few times for that. Like, and I definitely understand like having a session from literally 5 going all the way until like 9 a.m. the next night.
Yep.
I definitely understand. Like, definitely shout my boy hype because like you said, it'd be the same way. Probably like 2 3 hours. We sitting there. We'll probably like go through like beats and stuff. We're sitting there talking, trying to figure. We just having a conversation, and then the songs will get literally inspired by that. So it's like, trust me, I definitely know those. Trust me, those the
Those are the good
best.
ones.
You, it, it's not even about them being hits. It's just like what was valued at that session. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's a memory. It tucks in somewhere in the files, and keeps you going when you're in those sessions that kind of drag a little bit, or maybe you don't feel as creatively in tap with everything. And every once in a while, you get those ones that are just like, wow, this is why we do it, you know?
Big facts. That's what it's about. And, definitely shout out to, I gotta give another shout out to Stevie Colombo again because he definitely spoke well on you before we even, got to this interview. He definitely spoke great on you. So the one thing I wanted to ask is, what's your relationship with him and, how y'all carry, y'all relationship.
Oh, Stevie's my boy. We actually grew up playing ice hockey together out here in the Bay and in high school. And then I went on tour. And when I came back, I linked up with my boy Brooke. Shout out One Dose Creator. He makes incredible music videos. We all went to a Sharks game. Stevie met up with us, and we just started talking. We were talking about his life, some of the things he was going through, and he mentioned, I've actually written some stuff. Uh, I'm not. He was like, I'm not an artist right now, but I wrote it down. I want you to check it out. I read it. It was just so real and raw, and we just started chopping it up about music. I started to show him my stuff, and he was just like, dude, he was like, this music is crazy. Like, he was one of my friends who really, really like double took when he heard my stuff and was like, you shouldn't give up until this is like something. Like, this is something right here. And he believed in me ever since that day for the last 3 years, man. He has been a huge support. Bro, he's gone out of pocket to help me, even when I was down bad just on some life stuff. Like, Stevie is my dog. Uh, and so whenever y'all see him online or anything, like, give him a shout because without Stevie, I don't know that I would be moving the way I'm moving right now. Like, there's days you wake up as an artist and you don't feel like posting something. You don't want to take a picture of your breakfast. You don't want to go out there and force yourself to write a song when you don't feel like it, but you need that homie. You need that somebody who's like, bro, this is what you do. Let's go get it. Get up and get it. Like, Stevie is that homie. And so I appreciate him, y'all. Like I said, show
When
him
the
love
when the
whenever you
when the
can.
tank when the tank was on me, he was always that fuel to just keep that drive going.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, definitely shout out to Stevie and make sure y'all definitely follow him.
Hmm.
I know y'all anybody that's watching, I know y'all see him in the Twitch chat, so definitely follow him there and on the gram. So ain't nothing more to be said about that. And definitely, definitely shout out to you, Steve. I gotta make sure, but definitely make sure I do the same while I'm actually doing this interview right now. I'm going to definitely double down on that right now.
That's
Boom,
right.
boom, actually, boom. There we go, there we go. Boom. Had to double down on that real quick, but you know, and like you said, you honestly ice hockey. Honestly, that was I, I don't know why I didn't get into ice hockey until like later on when I turned like 25, 26. But like ice hockey, nah, that's and you said you had went out on tour. What was the very first tour that you had went out on?
When I was 18, I went on my first tour. So like probably 6 months after I got eliminated from X Factor, I ended up in school, um, experienced like school fame, which is crazy. And then as soon as that ended, as soon as I had a break from school, boom, I like went on tour at 18 in arenas opening up for the Vamps, and that was just insane.
Mm,
Like, there's no way to prepare for that. I remember the first time I went out on stage, it was at the Glasgow Hydro. I think there's like 17, 18,000 people that sit in there. And we got to do such big venues because we were opening for the Vamps. We were signed like through their label and
oh
they were already
shit.
doing arenas.
17, 18,000 people on your very, very first just appearance, just on your
Dude, it's crazy.
that's
And I
insane.
broke a guitar string on the first song.
I say it like this, most people, I'm just still reminiscing, like some people starting out just like 400, 500 people, like
Mhm.
300, maybe 1,000, 18,000. That's I can imagine you was overwhelmed. I can
Oh
imagine
yeah.
you.
I was super overwhelmed. Well, I got to do some little shows before, like local stuff. Um, I did have to go through that process of performing to dead rooms, performing at a wedding and the whole ceremony outside, but they had me sit inside and there's like two people listening and having to find my inspiration to like perform my heart out to these two people. Like I definitely went through that first, but my first tour, yeah, ended up in that arena and that was surreal. It was like they kind of just like threw us to the wolves. And I think that's the best way to do it too, just because you got to go out there and mess up. You just got to get it over with. You got to go out there and be talking in between songs, and you're kind of all over the place. You got to figure, like, you just got to go through that. You got to shape it. You got to feel uncomfortable. Get out in the water. Like just do it. And so part of me being able to execute the way that I did was because like there's no room for failure, right? Like if you mess up in front of 18,000 people. So like it makes it a little bit easier not to, just because there's so much at stake.
Yeah, I say it like this because if you mess up in front of 18,000 people, that will be remembered. That will be
Mm-hmm.
remembered.
But I remember that guy's voice cracked for years.
But I'm gonna say it like this. What was the best song when you performed out there? What was the best song that they reacted to when you performed out there?
The best song they would react to was probably Click My Fingers. When we
See,
would
yeah,
sing Click My Fingers. they would uh they would go off because that was our first
I'm gonna just need everybody in the Twitch chat to just start snapping finger emojis.
snap finger emojis.
Like that's what we about to need.
But yeah, man, that song was fun. People react to that. I think that was more of our like pop friendly, uh, kind of charted song that just like was songs that are for all ages. Songs that like anybody could sing. And I remember something I do want to share with other artists that are tuned in. I had this great conversation with a man by the name of Herbie Krishlow. He's an incredible songwriter out there in the UK. One day, he told me a quote by Michael Jackson. And he said, Michael said, the trick to walking on water is knowing where the stones are. And then the guy went on to tell me the stones in the industry are the female demographic. Like
Mm,
the young females, like when Drake came out, he didn't necessarily rap like what everybody else was rapping. He wasn't afraid to get emotional and to get lovey and touchy with his songs. And at the end of the day, like he was like, look, like girls, they will buy everything. They will support you. They will come to your show and fight to be in front row to make sure to be there and show you that they're there. Like they care about you so much. Not that there's not male fans like that, but like it's so powerful in the female demographic. And so he was like, don't be afraid to write love songs. Don't be afraid to write songs for the females because once they love you, everybody love you. And if the guys don't, it's because they're mad that the females love you. So just he was just like, don't be afraid to write about love. Don't be afraid to show your emotions in your songs, to go that Drake route. And that was really good advice because it's real. Like who do you see at those concerts? At those Chris Brown concerts, at those Justin Bieber concerts, at those
mm.
J. Cole concerts. It's not just dudes, there's a lot of girls there because they will show up. They want your t-shirt, they want the big old pajama t-shirt, the
Yeah.
the young kids,
And at the
they
end of the
want the
day, at the end of the
toothbrushes.
day, they probably spending our money.
They're down to spend the money and like if you're gonna do a concert, you don't do it for the glam. You don't do it for the worship, right? You do it so that the mom who ain't been close with her daughter for years knows that her daughter loves your music, buys a ticket, and brings her to your concert. And they have such a good time together that it makes them feel closer. Or the dad and the son, right? Or vice versa. Like that's what we do it for. That's really
And
what
that
we do,
one time turns into another time after that.
right?
It turns into a renege.
Right, because you want to give them an experience, you want to make them feel like they're kind of at home when they're at your show. It's like an escape, uh, from reality. Chloe's back there, what's good?
You already know. And the one thing that I'm gonna say, because like you said, females, and this is just my perspective. This is just how I see it. Shout out to the ladies, because at the end of the
Shout
day,
out to
this
the ladies.
no, because at the end of the day, to me, like you said, demographically, I feel like it's like a 50%. 50% when I say this in a statement, they also make the male fans, because especially in the era we're in today, is like, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I've seen, like, at first when SZA was in her prime, like when she really started buzzing worldwide, majority was female fans. But
Hmm.
growing more and more, now it's like I can't even give the percentage of if it's like more male fans or more female fans. It's a perfect balance now.
Right.
And I can just say personally, like me personally, like I was a SZA fan because I knew early Kendrick Lamar fans who were females who were Top Dog fans, and they found out about SZA early, put me on the SZA early, and so forth. So it's like I said, female demographic, female fans, they wind up bringing the male fans, and to me, that's just how it goes.
Yeah. It's the same. It's kind of like when you're throwing a party, right? Like, how are we gonna get all the homies to pull up, right? We used to have to invite the girls, and then the homies would pull up, right? And so, in the same way, it's kind of like that in the music business. Like, you can't forget the ladies. You can't just go out here trying to be cool, trying to be hard. I mean, it depends. People have their different niches. There's some people who that is their demographic, and people want to hear their real life stories, and that works for them for sure. There's no shame in that, and there's destiny for that. There's people who are called to do that. You know what I'm saying?
For
But at the
sure.
same time, if you're kind of trying to find your sound, I would just say, just to kind of top it all off, like just don't be afraid to get emotional. Don't be afraid to make songs for the ladies, for your girlfriend, for your wife, for anything like that, because there's power in that, and you need the ladies. You do.
I'm gonna say it like this: if you don't make it, she's gonna be playing somebody else is making it.
That's the truth. That's the hard truth.
Nah, I'm Gary to say the truth is the truth, because me personally, like I said, taking it back to going to the shows, buying the merch. I I can't remember the exact name. I think it was Trey Songz. What was it? Chapter 4, I think it was called, the album or something. When he had that whole tour for the album.
Mhm.
So that's me. Bought my ex the poster, the album. I forgot what else came in. It was like a whole merch pack. But you
It's
know,
like a whole pack, yeah.
I'm telling y'all, they going to the shows, and that's what's going on.
Hmm.
So to the artists out there who, you know, you never wrong being sensitive. I say it like this: like, if I dig up my old catalog right now, 65% of the songs was probably for females.
That's
Literally
right.
65%. And that wasn't even my original style of rapping. But as I grew in, like, and plus me, I'm a Scorpio, ladies man, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's natural. It's just
It's
natural.
natural. I know it's easier for me now that I'm married. I just write songs about my wife every day. I'm just like, do you like this one? she's she's like, yeah, I do. It makes it way easier to write songs like that. But yeah, man, it's that's the other thing, figuring out things to write, right? Figuring
Mm,
out things to write about, experiencing things. Lately, I've been trying to write songs from other people's perspectives more rather than my own. I feel like it's an interesting way to write, and it just usually generates a song that like is inspiring for other people, you know? Because it's one thing as a writer to be like, oh, how do I feel today? How do I feel about my life? How can I put that into my song? But then, like, taking that and being like, okay, let's switch it up. How does this person feel? How does someone coming home from war feel? How does someone growing up in this area that I'm not from feel? You know, how does this girl feel
Hmm.
when guy after guy is screwing her over? Can I write a song about that girl? Like, can I write a song from a guy's perspective? Can I, recently I wrote a song about a near death experience, right? About a guy who was done with his life and tried to end it, and God saved him, and he met God, and God changed him, and he came back to the world with a bigger purpose. Like, I never thought I'd ever write a song like that, but stepping out of my own perspective kind of gave me that ability, because I know people who I've lost people to that. A lot of us have lost people to suicide. There's a lot of people who think about
Nah,
that.
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard that one, because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of on a little social media, little vacay. I'll
Hmm.
say it like that. I was on a little social media vacay for a bit. Now I came back. Then that was like one of the, I'd say that's like this third or fourth post in my feed when I scrolled down, and I was just sitting there like, 'cause I definitely, I know. And it's, trust me, even just recently, and I know homies that's going through that right now, and I
Hmm.
really just want to tell them like it's life worth living. It's life worth living to live on. So it's like don't just don't.
Yeah, it's definitely worth living. And honestly, like we all have different beliefs, but we've never, there's one thing we all have in common: none of us have seen the other side. All of us are alive. Everyone who's watching this right now, everybody who's able to have a conversation right now.
Hmm.
um and your life has a purpose. And more than likely, almost every time, when you're in the hardest part of your life, it has everything to do with what's shaping you for what you're really made for, which could be something that's not coming until you're 40. It could be something that happens when you're 15. It could be something that happens when you're 22. It could happen at any time. But giving up is not the answer. You know, when you give up, the devil wins. Not only did you not reach your peak, but you lost in the moment of destruction, in the moment of the low, which was the buildup for the high. And that's how the devil works. That's how he tricks you, right? And I know God's got mercy, and I know that these people we've lost, we're gonna see them again one day, and they'll probably tell you, like, if I could go back, I would have stuck it out, and because now I see what God wanted me to do. And so hang on to that and remember that. Remember that you ending your life early is everything that evil wants. It would absolutely please your enemy. And let that be motivation to you, that if he wants you dead, there's a reason. You're a threat. You bring light. You're special. And so he's going to feed you with those thoughts, especially when you're alone, trying to take you out. Because he can't just come in and kill you. He can't do that, right? But he can make you do it to yourself. And
Hmm.
so pay attention to this war, like we talked about earlier. It's a war, it's a battle, right? Don't listen to these lies. Keep fighting. Fight for your purpose. Fight for the light at the end of the tunnel. It does exist. It's hard to see in this world because it's very dark, it's very cutthroat. Ain't nobody care about what you have to say or what you're going through. You tell people what you're going through, they compare it to something worse they went through, right? Like, let go of all that and just focus on that light. Don't let this world discourage you, because it will. And if you even slightly give up your defense against it, like, you just start to crumble. So
And know that somebody just always have it worse than you. Like for real.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm actually looking here in the chat right now. Oh man, we have a couple of good, interesting questions. Ooh. Ooh.
Let's hear it.
He said, "How did the how?" He said, "How did how?" Kaya said, "How did the Tide disband? Because she's been because they've been a true fan. They even have the group poster. Oh damn, there was a group poster.
The poster? All right. We got a real one.
I'm gonna say, can you? I'm gonna say they're gonna have to send this to us on Instagram or something. So we like I need this for the final cut or something. Like I need
That's
to see
right.
like I need to see this posted. We need this for the final YouTube cut episode or something.
That's
But
right.
but what was the but what happened with the disband? So I'm gonna say I guess I'm curious myself now.
So yeah, we just had a 3-year deal with our contract to
Mm,
tour and do our thing. We went out there, we did what we can. Um, Once our contract was over, we kind of had an option to seek out other labels and see where we want to go with it. It's hard because when you sign to a label, um, sometimes you're really stuck in debt, and we were barely able to kind of pay off ours. Um, we lived so far away from each other, and there were a couple band members that, um, which everyone has a right to do, is to look at their career and say, like, I've done all this professionally. Like, how can I do on my own? Like what I want to do a little bit of my own music for now. And we were all brothers, we loved each other, and so we just had a real good talk about it. We didn't really disconnect. We still talk to this day. um Maybe sometime in the future down the road we could do like an event or something, or a show or something. I don't count that out. um but when you go on tour like that and you miss college and you don't work a job, and then you got to kind of start over from the beginning. There's a lot of hard decisions you got to make, a lot of sacrifices you got to make, a lot of things that you got to get together before you go out there and do that again as a man. We were boys when we did that, and so getting home, going home, getting right with our families, getting our money right, getting ourselves right. When you do the tour life, it can get crazy when you're an 18-year-old boy on tour, and there's all these girls and drugs and parties and stuff like that. Just to be transparent, you got to kind of cleanse yourself of that. You got to come back to reality and like find your roots again. I most definitely did. Because like I said, I grew up in the church, and all of a sudden I'm on tour, and everything that I used to think was a temptation was like times by a million, because I was so young and I didn't have any understanding. I didn't have like true wisdom. I just was a kid, and so I kind of took that opportunity when the band ended to get myself right, to get sober, to focus on songwriting, my artistry, my relationships with my family, because I was away from them for so long. And I think we all just kind of went that way. And I know that Drew had a really good opportunity in LA. He started doing stuff on TikTok. He joined a TikTok group. He's still rocking with them today. He does content with them. And when your brother gets an opportunity like that, you say go for it. Like, you know, make a living, do it, if it makes you happy. And we still see him today. Now I still see him, he's happy. He's got funny videos. He's always doing crazy fun stuff. Shout out Drew Dirksen. Shout out all the boys, Nate Parker, Levi Jones. These are my dogs. These are my day ones. Um, and so we still have a good relationship. I bug Nate all the time. I'm always trying to chop it up with him on FaceTime. Or we're all like hours away from each other, like the time differences and everything. And so it makes it hard. It's not like we could get together and go into the shed and like practice or like rent a studio like that. And so it was just kind of an executive decision we made as a group to like take time at home. And as we went into time at home, our lives changed. People got married, we had babies. Life moves forward. And so it's not that we gave up on music or stepped away from music itself. It's just that we had to live a little bit. We had to
Nah,
live a little bit.
facts. And I was definitely paying. I was definitely, you know, I was definitely paying attention. Right when little one was born for you, and I definitely had seen for you that that was a very very life changing, thing. So, just being a father, how's that, changed your perspective on music and just like life in general?
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that it changes you. And my wife, she has two beautiful kids. We have them together now that we're married, and they're just awesome. They've made my life so much more special and given it so much more meaning. Um, and I'm glad that I got to experience that. You know, I'm glad that I didn't just stick out on the road and just party myself into the ground. Like that just, it would just be so different now if I went on tour. Like it would all be about impact. You know, how can we impact these people? How can we like inspire them? How can we bless people, together as a family and like with how the way that we present ourselves. I mean, just a night and day difference from being a young guy and being like, what are we doing today? Like let's make today as fun as possible, like all the time. Let's get lit. Let's go. It's just like night and day difference. And so I can't wait for the opportunity in the next, year or so to get back on tour and to see it from that different perspective, to see it from a perspective of like, wow, what a blessing that I can do this for a living and have my family with me and stuff. I'm excited for that.
No, no, big facts. I'm gonna say like this is. I think that the fans probably gonna ask one day to bring. They always ask for Lil One to come on stage that one day. You gonna,
Oh
you,
yeah.
I know you probably gonna be preparing for that because they probably
Oh,
gonna
he's
want.
a menace in the spotlight. He can dance for hours. We were just at a wedding in San Diego. He was just dancing the whole time. The whole crew, all the ladies were just like wanting to dance with him. A little 5-year-old. He's got some skills, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, he's a ride already. Oh man, I'm not even gonna lie. Look, I'm gonna keep it a bean. Look, dancing. We literally just had two choreographers on the podcast. Literally earlier today. So trust me,
Oh, nice.
nah, for real. Like trust me, that's a real thing out there. So, it. Oh snap. Oh, that's another good question. Oh, favorite venue ever performed at? Hmm, favorite venue ever.
Favorite venue ever has got to be the London O2 Arena because a lot of people don't know this, but in the back there's a secret room that was specifically Michael Jackson's room. He was the only person, no matter who was performing there, I don't care if it's Willie Nelson, bro. If Michael Jackson wanted a room, they gave it to him. And they designed it for him. I'm talking about M&M dispensers, every single gaming console, live Pac-Man, LED lit up room, like and when you walk in the first door, it's like a little library. It's like a little like grandma's library. It looks like old, and then you pull out one of the books and it opens another door, and then it's this huge room like for whoever. But now that he's passed, they open it up for the artists who come to stay there so they can come in and show respect to him and stuff. And so whenever we would perform there, we would just be in that room. They'd be like, Tide, sound check, Tide, lunch being served, dinner being served, where's the Tide? And we would just be in there like playing video games, like looking at Michael Jackson stuff like every single time. So that's my favorite one.
Now, I know you said Wrap It Up was a good place. Now, is the venue food good or? Eh,
Yes. Oh, the cooks you get to have on tour are incredible. Everybody who cooked for the Vamps tours, incredible. Like I'm talking like home cooked meal vibes, like real good home cooked meal vibes. Like sometimes like 5-star. Like it just depends on the tour. And it was really good. And honestly, in the UK they have this place called Nando's. It's a chicken place, and that you just get the plain chicken, and they just have all these sauces. Their sauces are just like fire, and so we would eat that on tour a lot, and that was crazy. Just I had to throw a little love out to Nando's.
no, definitely not say like this. Sauce, y'all got good barbecue sauce. That's all
Mhm.
I'm. I'm a very strict man about my barbecue sauce. Not to go off topic now, but I'm just letting y'all know. But
Okay.
hey, look,
Hey,
God,
guys, keep it real.
look, God is my witness. He know, you feel me? So,
Mhm.
we gotta keep it like that. But I'm pretty sure another thing that the fans want to know because we're seeing all the great content, we're seeing all the great reels, we're hearing all the great music, and then I'm gonna before I even ask this question, one question that I actually have to ask for myself. is out of all the artists you've collaborated recently, who's your favorite one that you've worked with in recent?
Hmm, that's a tough question. I've been blessed to work with some really good artists. I think my favorite artist I've ever worked with on a collab is my mama, because when we did a song together one time, that was powerful, man. Hearing my mom sing her heart out, it was right after my parents' divorce. Love and shout out to all the artists I ever collab with. Y'all are dope. But there's something about being able to do a song with your own mom that right
That's
after the divorce, hearing her put her heart out into that song, man, that was special. She wins.
oh man, that divorce must have been the fuel to the fire for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's and not to get too personal, but do you still have a relationship with your pop to this day?
Yes, I do. You know, it
That's important.
the
That's important.
it's important. It's really important. You know, divorce when it initially happens, of course, it splits a family down the middle. But through time and by the blessing of God, man, you know, we're all close. Uh, they be around each other now. You know, it's all good. They're both married. They both moved on. Um, we're a gelled family. You know, we're all mixed together, and we got lucky. You know, and it takes a lot of maturity from all sides. You know, to have that. There's certain situations that's not possible. You know, and so um, definitely blessed to have that relationship with my dad. He's been putting up with me for so long. You know, trying to dealing with the stress of my music career and being a young struggling artist, he's supported me and helped me a lot, so I gotta give shout out to Pops too.
No, definitely. And the question that I originally wanted to ask, now the fans, we've definitely given them a great scoop throughout the interview so far. But the one thing that I'm pretty sure they're going to want to know is because we're about to go into the fall, winter, and trust me, time is blowing like the wind, like autumn's about to blow these leaves off. So
Hmm.
the people will probably want to know what's next for Austin Carini.
Well, what's next right now is just I'm working with a new team out in LA, some really great guys who have been around the game for a long time. I feel that they know what to do with my career. They know who to play my music for. They know how to. They got the support for it. Uh, and I'm just excited. You know, I'll get to announcing that soon. We're gonna make a public announcement in the next month or so with my team. But so now it's just about I'm gonna be dropping singles over the next couple of months, getting the traction going, dropping some visuals, getting content, preparing to establish the fan base for tour. And then from then on, whether that means hopping on someone's tour, opening up, or doing our own if things go really well. Uh, but I could say, thankfully, to my fans right now, straight up, like the ball is officially rolling on this next chapter of my music career. I'm super excited for everybody to see what's going on and some of the songs, the collabs that are come out in the next 6 months. I'm really excited. So that's the next move. Expect to see new music videos, and I'm excited to have y'all on this journey because it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
The last question I got before the final Q&A question we got in the chat. Like you said, you out there in the West Coast, you out in the Bay, you out in LA. I'm gonna ask about the food. What's the best food spot you've been to out there so far?
On the West Coast,
Yep.
mm, mm, I love me some Italian food, but man, I can't stop eating Raising Canes.
Italian. I'm curious to say nobody's told me about a good Italian restaurant out there yet. Out of all the places I've been told, a good Italian restaurant I ain't been told about yet.
Mamma Mia's is a great Italian restaurant, but even that being said, you really want to find the best Italian restaurants, you find the little scrappy looking Italian restaurant that is family owned. It's got its cute little setup in there. You go into those Italian restaurants, my friend, because they still got grandma's recipes and they're
Mm.
whipping that food up real Italian style. Those are the good places. Those are the places you can't miss out on. There's definitely the nights you want to hit like a Maggiano's or
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
Mamma
say
Mia.
they definitely just said that in the chat, like literally on cue as when you said that.
Maggiano's.
Original Joe's.
Original Joe's is a
Shout out to Stevie.
fantastic place.
Stevie, you are stand in and out. Stevie, you are standing on business with In and Out, my guy. You are standing on business with that.
Hey, In and Out's the go-to.
Yeah, I'm Gary. Say Maggiano's. I'm not gonna lie, we definitely have one out here in Philly. Love to order their food out here. Definitely love it.
Hmm. You
So,
gotta get that four cheese ravioli.
so Gary say, Original Joe's. Gary say, Muller Rue, write that one down. Original Joe's. Original Joe's. Write that one down. Write that one down. But I'm Gary say the last thing we had in the Q&A was that it's actually a cover request of the song Naked. The a cover for the song Naked.
Oh my goodness. They want to see a naked cover? Gotta be careful how I word that.
let's
I
not
remember that song.
let's not go out on the podcast bad, people.
Yeah, no OnlyFans, no OnlyFans. Oh God,
Well,
I don't got no OnlyFans.
I'm I'm
No, but
I'm
I
good.
remember that song.
I'm going to say, look. Hey, look. If Austin wants to end the podcast going out like that, I'm glad to go out like that.
Going out with a bang.
Hey man, go ahead, bro. Shit, it's all you, my brother. The platform's all you.
Nah, but yeah, I could definitely do a cover of some old Tide stuff. I've thought about it, like a little acoustic jams on Instagram. I think that would be good.
I'm going to say, we gonna get that naked cover this week, y'all. We gonna get that this week. We gonna get that this week.
Okay.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, I need the great. As much as I want it on the podcast, I need the great I need the great cinematography out of it.
That's
Cause
right.
I'm not gonna lie. What I'm gonna have to end it with is definitely shout out all the cameramen and all the people that do the cinematography behind your pieces because what I have to say is that viral that like to me it's a viral like that basketball shot that your boy took like literally a direct like vertical down angle like right through the basketball hoop and just getting the zoom in so perfect. It's whew, I'm not even
It
gonna
hit
lie.
different, man. He
Nah,
climbed
like I
up there.
said,
I was like,
that was a hitter.
dude,
That was a hitter.
he's committed. That's my boy Brooke. I played hockey with him too. He goes under One Dose Creator on Instagram. Man, hit him up for some content. He shoots some crazy content. And we were just at this park shooting like a bunch of different videos. I was sitting under the basketball hoop and he just looked up and he was just like, I'm gonna climb up there. What if I just got a shot through there? And I was like, no way. I didn't think he was gonna be able to get up there. He got up there. I was like, I feel old. I couldn't do that anymore. I
No,
couldn't do that.
I definitely can't because once I go down, there goes my knees. Once I go like no OnlyFans, no OnlyFans. But but no, I definitely have to say that part. But so to all the artists out there that are up and coming, who especially the ones who are going to be watching this interview in the future, who's going to be watching this on YouTube, to all the ones, especially to all the fans who are going to literally going to want to know the story of Austin Carini. If there's one final piece of advice that you can give to the world, to those artists, to the ones that are trying to aspire to be who they want to be right now, what would you tell them?
Put it in God's hands. And I say that with love. I don't say that to force anything upon you, but just from my experience, okay, just keeping it 100 with you. Actually putting it in God's hands. There's a freedom in this that cannot be described. Uh, there will be so many people that tell you maybe it's a good idea if you stop. Maybe it's just not made for you. Maybe, you know, you gotta let all that slide. If you know it, if you know it, just do it. Don't waste time to explain to the fly as a honey why as a bee why honey tastes better than shit. Okay? Don't explain it to the fly. Let the fly do what the fly does. Okay? Don't explain what you do. If you're right with God and if you put it in God's hands, you know that if you're destined to do it, it'll happen. Just keep doing it. I believe in you. I'll tell you right now, I believe in you because I believe in the spirit of destiny. I believe that we are predestined to do things. I know that our choices make the decisions, but there is a calling on your life. And if you feel that it's music, understand that nobody else will ever understand. And that once you get there, all of a sudden, everybody will. They'll be like, oh, we always knew, man. Oh, we always saw that in you, like that's when you'll get all that. And you'll be able to read through that. But right now, while you're in the trenches, don't even worry about that. Any kind of appraisal or people supporting you, hang on to that. Don't take it for granted. Appreciate it. But like understand that most people they just don't get it and they're not supposed to. And that's okay. Just keep doing it.
Nah, definitely, and that's let me say it like this. That's definitely the way that people should always see it because that's how I see doing what I do right here. And you know, to those, the one thing that I would add to that is appreciate the fans who are there day one. Like whoever those two people were at that wedding that stayed there when everybody else went in the ceremony. I hope you guys are still here when the prime of Austin Carini is there because you guys were there. Whoever those
Yep.
two people in the room were, you and everybody else who was there before y'all were there.
Yep. Yeah. Cherish your fans. Cherish your fans. Because music's different. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's powerful. If people find inspiration in you, it's for a spiritual reason. It's for something deeper than just their ears, like with the sounds that they're hearing. It's something deeper than that. So hang on to them, communicate with them, show them love. And when you go down the road, you start getting more success. You see the ones that are, remember the ones who are day ones. Remember them, stop while you're on your way into the hotel. Stop, say what's up to them. You finish your show, you're about to leave. Don't leave yet. Say what's up to your fans. Make them talk to them like you're in high school and these are your homies and make them laugh and have fun. Or if you're a shy person, be shy around them. Let them see who you really are. Like, just be you and enjoy those moments with them. Yeah, put it in God's hands and appreciate your fans. That's my advice.
Nah, no capping. There's nothing cooler than being yourself. And you
Hmm.
already know. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. This is definitely one of the ones for the books because I feel like this is one of the ones where a lot of people do like whoever doubted themselves. If you doubted yourself before watching this episode, it really shouldn't be no excuse after seeing this episode why you're doubting yourself. It really shouldn't be an episode. And that's the note that I'm gonna have to leave it on because y'all already know it's your boy 25 Got Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this producer's new favorite podcast. Let me rap with you. Austin Carini, bro. Like I said, this is one for the books. Like I said, bro, I really appreciate it, and you know,
I
probably,
appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me on, man.
hey man, this is definitely it's gonna be one of the greatest interviews that I definitely have for the books, bro. I'm manifesting that right now, bro. I'm gonna keep it honest, like that's God is my witness. God is my witness. You feel me?
Amen, bro. I believe it. I'm confirming it. I'm coming into agreement with you.
You already know, bro. And I appreciate you, bro. May you and little one and the whole family have a great night, bro.
You too, brother. You too.
You already know. Everybody, let me rap with you. We will see y'all next weekend. And peace out.
Peace.